Hi, Manifest, here again. Now, I've done this walk before for a video, but the sun's out now, so the scenery's a little bit different. Just take you for a little walk and talk through the park. I usually chat to me mother while we're out here, but because of all this corona stuff, she doesn't really feel up to it. She doesn't even want to turn on her phone or anything, you know? It's all getting her down so much. I'm sure it's the same with everyone else. So you can experience this, even if you are at home. There's quite a few people in the park today. It's the 75th today, I think. The 75th anniversary of a jogger running past. That weren't me heavy breathing. That's why I usually come back that way. But there's people there. There's people there. So let's go down this way. Look at this log. What cool's that? See, not many people actually appreciate the stuff that's around. These trees and so let's have a little walk. I'll try and do it in half hour. I've only got just over half hour left on the memory. But I don't really want to talk about too much stuff really, but I think I may have to. Yeah, because there's a lot going down. It's squirrel. There's a lot going down. I don't think anyone's really paying attention. Exactly what's going on. See some people sitting in the middle there. Yeah, we're zoomed out. Well, let's go through this way. There's people over there in that. I very rarely come this way. It's lovely. See flowers on this chestnut, horse chestnut. This is lovely. I'm not quite sure how normal people get through here. Yeah, this is where you should be. It's a squirrel. But I'm trying to look where I do look around like this. People think I'm nuts. Just looking at and noticing the little bits and pieces that's going on. All the different nature. The variations, the contrasts. And simply by moving you from looking there to looking there, the contrasts are very different. And this is beautiful. I love it. The flower bed is looking awesome today. Well, it was yesterday when I was here, so. The knots. They almost look like eyes. Let's see what that looks like. It's lovely. But there's, with everything that's going on, the worst thing people can do is trap themselves inside their houses. All the negativity just builds up, the positive ions build up, the constant, well, just being without nature is a bad thing, but being in the opposite of that, just being surrounded by your computers and your tellies, your telly and the hertz of which they put out, it's extremely harmful. I don't think people are really considering this, and this whole thing is just a complete lie from what I've seen. Everything that when they take you into a hospital, they give you all these drugs. Every single one hinders and blocks the body's natural processes. Atropine, they keep giving people atropine. That reduces all the mucus in the throat. They say, oh, they've got bradycardia, but it's not about that. The mucus is supposed to be there and wafted up by the hairs in the throat. It's natural actions, natural functions. I wish I had some. The 420, I could really do with some. Walk in the park, bit of a toke, that'd be awesome. See another squirrel. You're looking at me. Yeah, these natural functions are very harmonious to us. It's about getting the body into a harmonic state, not a survival state. Negativity and fear is survival. Push all the blood to your limbs so you can either run or fight. Being happy but one lets your body heal itself. And people can't sleep. People are sleeping at the wrong times. They're not actually getting a feeling of what they should do, People are just not feeling worthy. Well, yeah, worthy. They're not getting a feeling of worth in their life from just sitting inside doing nothing. It's terrible. Actually killing people. Show you this flower bed up here. Ah, nothing in the sky. Got the right flag up today. See that tree that was topped looks lovely now. Oh, stand back a little bit so you can get full. Since where we should all be, round here, enjoying it. Is it very, very difficult to do that? A lovely variation, the thought that's gone into the colour balance. That's lovely. And just this little bush. A collection of bushes. Walk up here. Oh, it smells lovely round here. These flowers. You'll have to get these out. These weeds. Snap that for him so that goes. There you go. And these are wilting. See, that's a horse chestnut as well, but you've got pink on this side. Look at these. Lovely. These would be nice rows. Oh, look at this. Can I get in there and show you that? Because these ones are wilted. But this one is not quite wilted yet. Beautiful. Not orchid lilies or something. Yeah, these roses will be beautiful when they're done, when they come. Let's walk up here. Still there, that thing in the sky. But yeah, this is the way to heal yourself, stay in good health. And everything that they're doing, everything that they're saying, these tracking apps, the constant fear on the news, the constant lies of these inflated numbers, it's killing people. That is going to really start affecting people quite soon. It's criminal. As I say, when you go into hospital, not only the drugs they give you suppress all our natural functions, like for instance the mucus, all your antipyretics such as Tylenol, ibuprofen, paracetamols, they're reducing your fever. Reducing your fever means you can't burn away the infection. When have they told you that on the news? It's quite simple to just mention that if you get a fever, don't take any antipyretics. Quite simple. Not mentioned. Lovely tree. And I mean they keep on about ventilators. To put them on ventilators, quite often they'll put a tube down your throat, not a breathing tube, a feeding or drug administering tube. This tube, as they push it down, they have to anaesthetise you for that. That causes a lack of function in your muscles, that causes your chest to not expand correctly, causes your body to not react as quickly. You're sedated. It's just not helping. It's really, really not helping. And they put the tube down, they sever all those hairs in your throat that are supposed to waft up the mucus so we can spit it out. This is the way our body works at getting rid of infections. If it's unhealthy enough to actually get an infection, which I don't get infections because I'm not unhealthy. So this and that tube as well, I mean the whole thing behind it is a negative construct that breeds the thought of you're not doing well, you're going to die. Then they put the PAPs on, the BPAPs or whatever, the positive pressure on the ventilators, whether it's a bag or just the cup over the mouth and nose, that pushes the mucus down. So, and when you know how this virus supposedly acts, it attacks the cells in the throat, and it will go into a cell and then start releasing spores from that cell. Your T cells, your white blood cells, all this sort of thing act as one to combat it. But to combat it, they need to destroy the cells that have them inside. So you're left with a damaged throat from that. And the mucus is there to aid in that process. if there's a tube in the way, just lodged against your neck, it's very difficult. You can imagine it'll be very difficult for it to combat that. You know, that's a beautiful view. It'd be very difficult to combat that. And then they, well, it shouldn't be, but I've heard that they're giving people antibiotics. That's all right. You're welcome. Yeah, I've heard they're giving people antibiotics as well. They kill off the white blood cells. Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's only a smallish path, so they kill off all the white blood cells, which you need to battle it. These drugs that they're giving people, all the ingredients in your food, you know, I mentioned cyanamide a little while ago, and they put, I do think it's actually it comes from that, but cyanamide something anyway. I can't remember the name of it now, but that's from pigments in like purple and red flowers and this sort of thing, and it's how the plant turns electrical sunlight energy into electrical energy. And then they start with these vaccines. They use electrophoresis, which basically makes little holes in your cells so the vaccine can get in there and change your DNA structure in that way. But it's not right what they're doing. It's really not. And I see a lot of people talking about, and anyone that's only talking about one thing, they need to wake up. Like I made a comment on a nurse's, well, she's a holistic nurse, but she's going on about the you know, the 5G and this sort of thing. And I've actually said all that, and her response was 5G. And I'm sorry, that's really bad to just fight one cause. I'd just like to say that someone coming up there, I'll walk this way. Yeah, it's really quite bad, because all this stuff I'm saying is just as valid, and all people are saying about this is, oh, it's fake. No, you can't just say it's fake. You have to battle these figures that they're coming out with, because they're artificially inflated. When they say they died with, not from, that's an artificial inflation of a number to serve an agenda. Yeah, those trees. How beautiful those trees are over there. Yeah, it's all sneakily done. So to say it's fake isn't necessarily correct. And you look at the figures, what they did is they held a lot back until April. And in April they released it, so it looked like they shot up all of a sudden. But they didn't. It was just that they were released. It's not right. It's really not right. It's not on what they're doing. And this will make you laugh. There was a friend's birthday on the 7th of March it was. We went to a party back where I'm from. And there was a lot of old friends there. And I told them about this stuff, and I said, you do realise we're going to be locked, and they all thought I was nuts. They literally looked at me like I was nuts telling them this stuff. One of them, well, probably the one that I've known the longest, works for the NHS, worked for the NHS for 20 years nearly. And I said to him, what are they saying? What's going on there? And he does estates, so if there's any changes in building work or anything like that, he would know about it. And so he deals with every sector, really. He deals with, I mean, he used to be stationed in where the paramedics get stationed, and so he knows them all. And I said to him, well, have you heard anything? Have you been talking to him about it? He was like, yeah, I've been talking about it. And remember, 7th of March? I said to him, what are they saying? He said, oh, yeah, they're saying it's just a flu, don't worry, you're just being stupid. And I was like, well, you're about to see this all get locked down, they're going to inflate it, they're going to go nuts, and it's all going to go crazy. And I mean, I don't have any social media apart from YouTube, if you can call that social media. And apparently, from all accounts, he's on there screwing about people being out, walking about and stuff. And it's a very good example of how these people are just led. I mean, I told him under 2 years ago, about all this. I told him that there's going to be a major food shortage, and they're going to do something to hide this food shortage, and then it's all going to go pear-shaped, because he's got a new baby. I said, look, just don't get him vaccinated, it'll kill him, basically. It'll turn him into a little zombie. Don't give him iPads, don't give him phones. I went to his granddad's funeral, and yeah, there's his little baby. Yeah, he's been vaccinated, you can see it in his eyes. He's got an iPad in his hands, and yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, what these people are doing. And at that time, when I spoke to him about that, he looked at me square in the eyes and said, you used to be so smart, now look at you. I was like, and we were literally looking out the window, and I was like, can you see all these straight lines in the sky? They're chemtrails. I said, they're dropping all sorts of elements, and we're breathing it in nanoscale. That's aluminium, barium, this sort of thing. And if you watch my previous video about on the NASA site, saying about barium canisters being exploded in the atmosphere in the sunset and sunrise to produce blue in the sky, and then all the articles about chemtrails, how they're actually doing it now, all the articles about weather modification, not climate change, weather modification. And the way they do that is with 5G and those sort of signals. I mean, David Miles, weather mitigation. He's literally known for picking the water up out of California and dropping it in Texas. He was trying to hold Australia to ransom. If you look on his site, he was trying to get Australia to give him funding so he could give them water and put out their fires and stuff. It's not a joke. It's not pretend. It's not conspiracy. Just not. Oh, it's terrible. I mean, I've been walking around talking about this. People are listening. They don't care. It's not me. Right. They can work. You see? I told you this is where I'll come out. Look at that building. See, there's no one there now. It was filled with people down there. Yeah. Terrible. But half an hour. I think that's pretty good. Let me just show you the church as well. It's lovely. Put my cigarette in a bin, sorry. Put it out. First, obviously. Yeah, round here, I'm not sure if it was over there or behind there. Used to be the old fire station from a long time ago, and then they moved it up to the top. And yeah, there's a lot of history around this way. I was looking at it all, and yeah, it's ever so interesting, but it takes quite a bit to understand it and remember it. I might make some notes, come out and do a nice little tour. Yeah, there's a lot of homeless around my way. Here's another one. There was one on the park bench that I didn't show. Well, there's a couple there actually I didn't show. Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely round here. Have you seen it's the see the flags? There's a bit of patriotism. The smithy. That was the last, that's the place where they built over it now, but it was where the last blacksmith was in Rushden. So I don't know where people get their blacksmithing done now. I suppose it's just they come to you. That might have been where the old thing was. Let me cross. Chair, the polio. Now, you look up that polio vaccine. They had something called SV40, and they were supposed to throw away all the vaccines that were killing people. They didn't, and they ended up being distributed to everyone over before 1963. So yeah, polio is from the vaccines back then. So why isn't it now? All these bloody drunk people round here. The name liveth forevermore. Yeah, let's share the song. For valour. Lovely round here, isn't it? See that? PE Day, 75 years. What are you doing in the sky? Terrible. See, look, you can cut a tree back as much as you like. It'll persevere.